welcome back to my channel. If you are already subscribed to me, if you're new, hey, I'm so glad you stopped by to see me today. I have a video today that I am not qualified to make. There are so many videos that I share that I feel pretty confident that I am qualified. I know what I'm talking about. It's worked for me. I have experience with this. This video is something I am not qualified to make because I am a hoarder of some things. I have a horrible time getting rid of sentimental items, especially items that pertain to my kids. I love them just a little bit too much, and I want to keep every single thing they ever did, every single item of clothes they ever wore, every toy they ever played with, anything they ever drew. I want to keep everything. So this is me coming to you and telling you these tips I have today for how to get rid of sentimental items. This is me telling you this as somebody who literally loses sleep over things that I may or may not have to get rid of, or loses sleep over things that I have gotten rid of. I sold a toy at a yard sale a few years ago. That was my oldest daughter's, and I still think about that toy to this day and how sad I am that it's gone and where is it and why did I sell that. I still think about that, like there is something not right with me. But I just feel like I'm definitely qualified to make this video in this regard, because I know as hard as it is to get rid of things, there are some things that have helped me to let things go in some way, like whether it be donating or packing away. You'll see in a minute. But basically, I figured I would share these tips with you guys because I know so many people want to declutter, so many people want to get rid of some things, and they just feel buried by things. They don't know how to get rid of things, especially sentimental items. And these 5 things are things that I have done and will continue to do, because I just can't get rid of a lot of the stuff that I really truly know I should, but I can't. But these 5 things have helped me, and I thought if you are like me at all and you're having a hard time getting rid of some sentimental items, these 5 tips may help you as well. Okay, so the first thing is to take pictures. If you have some items that you really just don't have room for and you need to get rid of, before you get rid of them, take pictures. I have done this in the past with things, and for some reason it makes me feel better to know that I can go back and look at a picture of whatever this thing is that I had to get rid of. I don't print it out necessarily and put it in my photo album, but I save it on a disc with all the other pictures, and I know it's there. And sometimes knowing that picture is there, that I can look back and be like, oh, I remember that. Sometimes that helps me to have that. So take pictures of things, and then after that, if you can get rid of them because you know you can always go back and look at the picture, that may help you. Another thing that I've done a lot over the years is cut a scrap. This is especially relevant when it comes to baby clothes, toddler clothes, all those cute little clothes, and I still have too many, so don't be fooled by this, but I'm just saying. A lot of their clothes that I had early on, because they had obscene amounts of baby and toddler clothes growing up, I would cut a scrap of the fabric and then throw, you know, the bulk of the rest of the item away. But I still have that scrap to help me remember that article of clothing. And in my mind, one of these days, I'm gonna have it made into a quilt. You can pay people to, like, you give them scraps of fabric or you give them little t-shirts or whatever, and they can piece it together and make a quilt. In my mind, that's what I'm gonna do, but even if I never do that, at least I have that scrap of fabric. And what I used to do before I even cut the item, I would take a picture. I'm telling you guys, you're gonna think I'm the biggest crazy person ever. I would take a picture of the outfits, lay them all out on the ground, take a picture, and then I would cut the individual pieces of fabric, and I have them like sucked up in like a vacuum sealed bag, and they're packed away out in the garage in these big totes. They're nicely labeled, they're organized. So if I'm gonna be a hoarder, at least be an organized hoarder, and that's kind of where I feel like I am at this point. But cutting a scrap sometimes is all you need to feel like you still have a little piece of that item without actually having to have the entire item. Another thing that has helped me, and in a way it's hard because I know I'm gonna sometimes feel twinges of regret about it, but if I'm decluttering something and I'm rocking and rolling, I'm like, get rid of, and I'm putting it in this big Goodwill bag or donation bag, if I don't take it immediately to the donation center, you know what's gonna happen? I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna dig all that stuff right back out, and it's gonna end up right back where it started from, because trust me, I have done that. Even recently, I've done that. But it does really help to, while you're on the decluttering mood and you are on, you know, got your mojo going, go ahead and take those things immediately to the donation center, so that you can't really second guess yourself and sit back later and think, oh, maybe I should have kept this, or I'm sorry I got rid of that. That does help to go ahead and get it out of your hands. It's out of your, you know, you can't go back and get it at that point really. So that does help. Another thing that I think is helpful is, especially when it comes to getting rid of your kids' things, their clothes, their toys, their books, whatever it is, try to get rid of those things while they're still at home, because you still have them. They're still there, they're still kids, they're still living under your roof. It's gonna be probably harder for you to get rid of those things once they are older and they've moved out. And then you're looking back and you're thinking, oh, they're not little anymore, and I'm getting rid of their little Pooh Bear book or whatever it was. If they're still kind of little and they're living with you in your house, then it's a little bit easier to get rid of some things than when years and years have gone by and you're old and they're old and you're looking back at all these little baby things and stuff. It's gonna be easier for you probably to get rid of it while they're still at home with you, while they're still young, than waiting until they get older. And the last thing when it comes to getting rid of your kids' things is, sometimes it helps to think if you're gonna sell it on Facebook Marketplace or eBay or whatever, even if you're donating it to Goodwill or somewhere, it helps to think, okay, I'm gonna give my kids a certain percentage of the money that I make from selling this. Or if it's their item, like if it's one of their toys, if we had a yard sale and if my oldest daughter sold something or my youngest daughter sold something that was theirs, they got to keep the money. And that made me feel a little bit better, because it wasn't like I was just getting rid of stuff and nothing came from it. Like, I felt better thinking, this is their item and they get to keep the money from this item. Or if I sell this item, you know, that money that I'm making from this goes back into the family. It goes back into something that they want or they need, or I can buy them something, you know. So thinking of it that way kind of helps me a little bit when it comes to getting rid of things that I know it's gonna benefit them. They're gonna get money from it either directly, or they're gonna get the benefit of something I buy for the family or a trip we take or something we do. They're gonna get the benefit of that because I sold this, or because, you know, I donated this and I can claim it on my taxes or whatever. So those are 5 things that have helped me over the years to get rid of things when it comes to sentimental items that are my kids. This is still horribly hard for me. I'm still terrible at it. Terrible. I have an obscene amount of things, artwork, homeschool papers, clothes, toys, but I have gotten rid of quite a few things. I have minimized things and I have organized things so they're taking up less space and they're in different configurations that are smaller for the most part, like the fabric scraps and stuff like that. So I feel like if you're gonna be a hoarder, at least be an organized hoarder. But these 5 things have helped me to get rid of some things, because you just literally cannot keep everything. I mean, if I was rich, I guess, and I had a just giant house, I could keep every single thing I wanted to keep. But unfortunately, that's not reality, and I can't do that, so I have to kind of do the best that I can with the space that I have. But it is really hard for me. It is really hard to get rid of sentimental items. I know that. I am right there with you, but hopefully these 5 tips will help you when it comes to getting rid of some of those things that belong to anybody you love, but your kids in particular. In this case, probably all this stuff really relates to having kids and getting rid of their stuff, because it is hard. I hope these 5 tips helped you. If they did, would you please give this video a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe before you head out, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.